G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the glorious battle Super Saiyan Trunks Kid and how he performs at 100% in the hidden potential system, as well as with full level 10 links. So this is Super Saiyan Trunks Kid, the physical unit. He had an easy A a little while back now, but he still can run pretty well. Still a pretty good unit. He's a physical type lead of 100%. He has attack and defense of 100% at the start of turn, plus an additional attack of 100% when performing a super attack. He also has a chance of critical hits of 18%, damage reduction of 18%, and all allies attack and defense of 18% when there's an ally whose name includes a Goten Kid attacking in the same turn, or when Krillin or Android 18 is on the team. He raises his attack and defense for 6 turns, which is pretty decent. Means at any given time he can hold up to 6 stacks. And in terms of his links and his build, I personally would build him majority additional with crit. He's got crit from his passive, as well as also he is a physical type unit. But I think getting an additional stack does really improve his defense quite substantially. Link-wise, he has Golden Warrior, Royal Lineage, Super Saiyan, the Innocence, Budding Warriors, Prepared for Battle, and Shattering the Limit. He's on Battle of Wits, Bond of Friendship, Bond of Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighters, Gifted Warriors, Hybrid Saiyans, Majin Buu, Saga Movie Heroes, Super Saiyans, Vegeta's Family, and Youth. So pretty decent. He's overall a pretty good unit. He links up relatively well with pretty much any Super Saiyan, Hybrid Saiyan, which always is a bonus. Plus any Super Saiyan Vegeta, he basically links up pretty well with. We're going to be using him under a 200% lead with the superheroes Gohan, and we're going to see just how good he can be. Now in terms of link leveling, there's not too much that you gain from link leveling this guy. Honestly speaking, it's not huge. Most players will find that they tend to get like better link leveling out of extreme class units. At least I always find that's the case. For me at least, I find that extreme class units tend to fare a little bit better. They just, have stronger link sets. Obviously, maybe that's just because they're more limited, or maybe it's because their link sets are more limited, I don't know. I would assume so. In terms of link leveling with Trunks, you don't gain the largest amount from link leveling them. Golden Warrior gives you 5% additional defense reduction to enemies. Royal Lineage gives you an extra key and 5% attack. Super Saiyan 5% attack. The Innocence goes from 10 to 15%, so another 5%. Budding Warriors the same. Prepared for Battle gives you 5% attack and defense, and so does Shattering the Limit. But it's very uncommon for units to have both of those links, although there is the case in example with Goten. So he gains a decent chunk, but nothing too crazy. Predominantly actually attack links. He gains in total 30% attack and 10% defense, which is pretty good, and access to one more key, although it's unlikely for you to activate Royal Lineage, especially if you are running Trunks in rotation with Goten. Stats wise, you can see that attack and defense building up now. Over time it really can build up to be pretty high, and attack stat wise he's starting to look pretty impressive. One thing that I do like about him as a unit is that, much like Goten, they can get some pretty decent attack stats, but they also have that 18% damage reduction, which can take the edge off of some of the supers and some of the normal attacks from some of the game's hardest bosses. So there's definitely a little bit more, I don't want to say functionality, but a little bit more kind of flexibility with them, due to the fact that they can obviously apply this little kind of extra edge, this little kind of extra nugget of reduction, which I think is good. It is definitely a good thing. It does help out overall, and in general it's strong. It's always good to have these kind of really strong capabilities, and it does take the edge off. So you can see here, this is with obviously support on the rotation, but 330k is pretty good. He'll raise his defense again and get pretty close to the 400k mark, which overall I would say is quite good. Obviously as well, just to kind of preface it, but also if we're looking at him as a unit, the attack stats are also looking pretty good. So all in all, I would say he's doing really solid. In fact, we also didn't even get a additional stack, so we haven't got an additional attack the whole way through, which means we're not even running an additional stack of defense. So Trunks could potentially hit over the 400k defense mark, which is pretty good when you consider he raises his defense again on his super, and alongside Goten he has that 18% damage reduction, which is why these units haven't aged badly at all. The height their raw stats can get to alongside their very capable offensive abilities makes them really solid. In fact, they've actually kind of improved over time due to the fact that bosses can actually kind of stay alive now, which sounds like it shouldn't be a thing, but it really is a thing. Unfortunately, bosses did struggle to actually stay alive through the hits of the first unit, which meant the second one generally didn't stack too well, but now they stack really well, considering both of them can usually get their attacks in. And we're going to activate B-Pan's attack, of course, but Trunks is looking really solid. I think overall, for me, I quite like how Trunks is looking. I think he's a phenomenal unit that has good flexibility. I think that's also something that's always great to mention with hybrid Saiyans units. That flexibility, that ability to kind of, exist on multiple teams. Obviously he links well with Goten, but he links well with other Trunks units, he links well with Vegeta units, he links well in general. So you've got decent flexibility, good consistency across his categories, and just in general I think he's a really solid unit. One that does a fantastic job just overall and doesn't really let his team down, which I think is always something we can appreciate. Overall, I would have to say Trunks is really good. Does link leveling elevate him to a new level? Not really, but it does make his attack stats look a lot beefier and gives him a little bit extra edge on defense. But honestly, I wouldn't say link leveling changes this unit. If you're looking at how well he does, you don't need to link level him. He's going to perform really well. Dupes are really where it matters for this guy, because the way his stacking works and the way he functions as a unit, it's imperative that you hold as many stacks as possible. And by holding those stacks, you're going to be able to really augment his defense. For example, one additional from Trunks means way more than anything else that he does. Anything in terms of link leveling or anything of such nature. So that's really solid, I would say, overall. And personally speaking, I'm really happy with how Trunks is doing. And yeah, I think he still has a place on teams to this day. He's really solid. Him and Goten make a fantastic rotation. If you stick level 6 gear on them and you really augment them, you can still really push them. Like, they can still do red zones. They just maybe won't be able to tank all the supers, but they are still a fantastic choice. And they're a ton of fun to run. I personally really like running them. I've always enjoyed running them. I think they're just a lot of fun as a unit, and I think in general they just are a lot of fun as a pairing to run. They exist on a lot of teams, and if you don't have that Goten, you can run any of the other ones. Tech Goten's also fine. He's available with Books of War from time to time. You then also have, of course, the Int Goten, who's also a great unit. He could get his EZA, and that would be a crazy pairing. So yeah, just in general, just really good. So honestly speaking, super happy with how the team performs, super happy with how Trunks does, and yeah, in general, I'm really happy with like his performance. Link leveling maybe doesn't matter too much. I will admit that. I don't think it's imperative to link level them. I just don't think it adds that much. But everything else I think is really good. And I think he's really solid in that respect. I think he really brings a lot to the team. And I think you're looking at a very solid performer across the board. Just overall a fantastic unit. And yeah, very happy to use him and continue to use him. But that's going to be it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, and bye.